fine Scotsman here, and welcome to this video. Today we have another red rag mooper. This machine is an HP G6. Now, normally I'm not really too keen on these because these tend to go wrong. However, this machine has been given to me by a friend of mine, and I've been looking for a burner laptop that's quite modern, and this I think will fit the bill at the moment. So, what is the story behind this machine? Well, it was given to me after my friend's mum had had it, and she had had it after my friend's cousin, I think it was, basically lost his patience with it. But it had apparently been jumped on and what have you, but has been fixed. And you can kind of tell that that's been the case because there is a know-how sticker on it here from PC World. And I've actually done a pretty good job of fixing it all up. So, let's have a look at this machine then. So, on the left we have a VGA connection without the screws, DB15 out, Ethernet, HDMI, two USB 2 ports, microphone and headphone sockets, SD card slot, and some indicators, I believe. Got battery and charging, or is it hard disk and power? Then we have SRS speakers, not Specialist Resource Solutions, but apparently these speakers are SRS capable. And then on the other side we have DVD burner, I believe, another USB 2 port, DCN, and a Kensington lock slot. And on the back we don't have anything. Then the lid. So what we're going to do in this video, we're going to actually restore it using the original factory restore. We're going to restore it back to the factory image. And I'm going to show you what this machine is. So this is the second consumer grade HP that I've gotten within a year. Now, when I got this machine, it had a broken keyboard. So I have actually undertaken to replace that, so that's all up and running and working properly now. Apparently the screen has a wee issue, but I've not came across that just yet. So let's have a look and see what is happening with it. So before we do anything, let's take a look at the specs. System information, HP Pavilion G6 notebook PC. Don't know how well you can see that there. Warranty start date, didn't have one. Intel Pentium CPU B940 at 2 GHz. That's a Pentium dual core, but it is a Sandy Bridge one. 800 MHz speed, apparently. We have 8 gigs of RAM, or 8,192 megs. BIOS state 8/30/2011. BIOS revision F33. And there we go. So that is what we have, and then we've got a battery info. And yeah, HDD info, SATA 500 gig. Western Digital. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to scroll down to here, exit out of setup, whoops, and then we'll restore. There we go. So this is definitely a consumer grade machine. But this did come with 4 gigs of memory originally, but I have now upgraded it so that it now has 8 gigs. I forget how good Sandy Bridge Pentiums really are. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go System Recovery, Recover without backing up files because there's nothing on here. And there we go. So this is going to be a lot like the HP Pavilion at my office. The desktop, I forget the model number of it, but it's going to be a lot like that. I'm still waiting on the fan for that actually. But, well, there you have it. So I'm going to let this restore. Okay, so we are done with the restore. So I'm just going to click the finish button here, and surely the text will now change from English to Finnish. Yeah, I am proud of myself for that. Setup is preparing your computer for first use. Yes, this is Windows 7 Home Premium. And now we are in the setup portion of setup, because of course we are. So now to put my password in. So we're going to use the recommended settings. Not set up Wi-Fi just yet, but go into the home network because I plugged something into the internet hole on the side of this machine. Preparing the desktop. So what is the plan for this machine? Well, I'd like to use it as a Linux biff about, but we're going to keep Windows on it as well. Something that I would really like to do, and I think my friends in the States want me to do, is to attend Southeast Linux Fest next year. And I would like to go as well. They were on about, going to try and get me a plane ticket. But, yeah. I want a machine, a burner machine to take with me. Just leave my own machine at home and then just take something a bit simpler with me. So this is what I'm doing. Just, got this machine, and hopefully it'll last long enough for me to do such a thing. But even if I'm not in the States, I can still use it for tutoring. Or even tutoring. Okay, big! So there is a hard disk LED on the left side of the machine. Okay, so now we're going to go into HP registration. Welcome to your new computer. Go. Okay, let's see if I can register. Okay, so now it's going to ask if I want to install Peter Norton's utilities. No. Yes, I'm sure. I'm absolutely sure. I'm certain. In fact, I'm absolutely certain that I'll probably buy an Adruga Struvian key for ESET. Yes, I'm connected to the internet. Thank you. There we go. Setting up personalized settings for Microsoft Windows using a dialog box borrowed from IE4. That is still used today. I love that. Makes me laugh when I see that when setting up Active Desktop or Windows 98 First Edition. Okay, so here we are with HP, and okay, so HP Setup Manager. Good news, you're connected, so I can set up my printer, which is good. I might do that. It's a Samsung. Protect my computer. I'll do that as well. Good. I can use ESET. Set up backups, yeah, I can do that as well. Quite easy. I can use Nextcloud, or just back up to my server. Got Backblaze on my desktop. Get connected. It's easy. I can do that. I'll just plug the Ethernet cable in. Get assistance. Oh, that's good. That's quite easy. I can do that. I just basically Google shit, because that's what I do. Not saying that that's my stock answer for everyone else, mind, because I usually will give assistance if I can, and if I will usually try and give assistance when I can. Transfer my files, yeah, I've done that. Browse accessories, yeah, I'll do that. Okay. Let's not remind me to come back. So I could go to the internet. I don't want to see that. Now, I have tried the Minimised image restore, and I've got to be honest, it is probably much, much better. But let's have a look at what we have on here, just to... so we've got Energy Star, we've got Evernote. We've also got the Wild Tangent Bullshit bun fringe piece of shit bull. Snapfish, Norton Internet Security. Yee! Theft protection. So basically, it's a bunch of shit. But that's okay. Now, Office 2010 is probably the one useful piece of software on here. But Jay, I hear you cry. Is that not trialware, or you've got to get a key? Well, could just use Office Starter 2010. So I think what I'm going to do, now that I've actually restored this using the full restore, I literally did that just so I could show you guys what the HP install was like. What I'm actually going to do is use the image recovery, the minimized image recovery. That is something that HP do that I like, that I think more manufacturers could do with doing. Are you listening to me, Asus, with your 32 gig tablet transformer things? So here we are. We've got Microsoft Word Starter 2010. And this is brilliant. I must admit, I do quite like this for setting up Windows 7 machines, you know, because it's like, okay, well, here you are, you've got a basic word processor, you've got a basic spreadsheet application, done. So here we are. But now all of this is gone, and Microsoft instead wants everyone to buy Office 365. Microsoft Office, here we go. But there you go, blank document. So I quite like this. But what if you want to have the minimized image recovery, which, let's be honest, we do. We really do. Something that was not available to me on my HP Pavilion at the office, which I must admit is a shame. And, you know, I've spent ages getting rid of shit that I did not want. Well, that's quite easy. I can just go back to the system recovery and just be like, do that. Do the thing with the hands. Do that. So instead of going to system recovery here, I can go to minimized image recovery, recover without backing up my files, and there we go, back here. And I think this, ironically enough, takes longer because it uses sysprep to ready some of the applications and files and what have you. So I'll be right back. So now we are finished with this part of the restore. So as predicted, this is now going to use sysprep. So it's just going to run through this a few times, and then eventually we'll get back to the out-of-the-box experience. So there is still some HP branding, as you will see in the Minimised system image recovery, but there's nowhere near as much junk. Literally, the machine will have the apps needed to run it, and that's about it. That's all it will have. So the computer has finally finished. I got bored and started playing some Harry Potter. So, we're back here again, out of the box experience. So, what I want to do, let's just type my name. And then I'm going to do my password. And here we go. Home network, please. And then Windows is finalizing your settings. Now, as far as I know, in fact, if I remember rightly, in fact, I'm pretty sure I do, there is no registration wizard in this portion of setup for the minimized image. That just seems to be something for the full system image. And this is something, I mean, HP, I mean, as much as I don't like the build quality of their machines in the Vista 7, 8, 8.1 era, there are a few things that HP have done right. And I think one of them is this, and the other one is the fact that when you have a system, let's say you buy a system with 4 gigs of RAM, that's what you get, 4 gigs of RAM in one of the sockets. And then you can just put another 4 gigs in, so this has got 8 gigs. Because I was able to do that. So hooray for that. As you can see, it's actually going a wee bit quicker. Because there's really not that much on here. I like this because, I mean, it's quite well known that really you don't get any useful applications, Office Starter 2010 aside. So this is quite a nice thing to have. So literally, what I have here is basic, all you need to run it. That's all I have. Just the necessary things needed to run this machine. So yes, I do have Cyberlink UCam, but that's so I can take photos with the webcam. I can do something with the webcam. Intel, the control center for the graphics and the rapid storage technology. HP Connection Manager. Again, that's kind of, I mean, okay, it's a bit extraneous, but, you know, it's perfectly harmless. Support Assistant. So it's just things that I might need. And if I want any of the applications, well, I can just go into the HP Recovery Manager. When it comes up, which it will. In the meantime, don't mind me, I'm just going to busy myself. Oh, no, here we go. Now, I can go to drivers and applications, reinstall. You've got system restore. So, if I go to drivers and applications, reinstall, building a list of drivers and applications, here we go. So even though I've got the minimized image recovery, I can install any of the drivers, well, reinstall. I can install Adobe Flash Player, Adobe Reader, Adobe Shockwave Player, Cyberlink UCAM, Essential System Updates for Microsoft Windows 7 Service Pack 1, Evernote, HP Connection Manager, Documentation, HP On-Screen Display Utility, Power Manager Software, HP Quick Launch Software, Support Assistant, Silverlight, Sun Java, Symantec Virus Definition Files, Norton Internet Security 2011 60-day trial, Windows Live Application Software. So I might install that. I mean, it's a bit tragic that Office 2010 is not available for reinstallation through this. I don't like it. But that's okay. I'm going to install Office 2013. So, I'll install the Windows Live stuff because that's something that I do use. And while that's installing, I am going to go and change my mouse pointer to something that I can actually see properly. Ta-da! Much better. Much better. Okay, so there you have it. And if we go into this, if we go into games, we see that while we have the Windows games, that is all we have. We don't need no stinking Wild Tangent trialware piece of So there we have it, the HP Pavilion G6. You'll probably be seeing more of this laptop as I start playing around more with Linux and what have you. I'm going to be installing something with KDE, so either Kubuntu or Debian Buster with KDE. Debian Buster, even though it's still in the very early development stage, is very good. So I will be doing a video about that at some point. But that all aside, I think what I'm going to do here is just end this video here. So there you have it, HP Pavilion G6, and so far it's running fine. Got the new keyboard, got a memory upgrade, and yeah, I'm hoping that this machine can prove me wrong about HP's, because I really could do with it doing so. At least it's an Intel machine. Not that AMD is bad these days, but back in the day it kind of was, and the APUs were terrible. So I'm glad that this is an Intel machine. So, with that said, I'd like to thank you all for watching, and please feel free to join me for my next video. Cheery bye.